Have you ever wondered how the Japanese seem to stay financially secure, even if they're not making massive incomes? While much of the world is chasing promotions, hustling side gigs, or trying to earn more just to keep up, Japan takes a totally different approach. In Japan, wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how well you manage what you already have. This mindset, deeply rooted in culture, discipline, and centuries of tradition, allows everyday people to stay rich quietly and consistently. Japanese people don't flaunt wealth, they preserve it. You won't often see flashy cars or luxury brands even among those who can afford them. Instead, Japan follows a philosophy where staying rich means living with intention, not indulgence. It's not about having more, it's about needing less. And the secret isn't in working harder, it's in managing smarter. One of the most powerful cultural values in Japan is called Haikikomigani, which roughly translates to keeping wealth hidden. In Western countries, it's normal to show off financial success with big houses, designer clothes, or expensive vacations. But in Japan, the opposite is true, as people with money often choose to live modestly. They believe financial freedom is more valuable than social status. This quiet form of wealth keeps them from falling into debt or living beyond their means. Let's talk about Kakeibo 100-year-old money journaling method invented by Hani Motoko, Japan's first female journalist. At a time when women rarely handled household finances or held public influence, she created a simple yet powerful tool that helped families take control of their money. What's incredible is that even in today's digital world of budgeting apps, online banks, and automated alerts, Kakeibo is still being used by millions. Why? Because it taps into something deeper than technology, connects you emotionally to your money. Unlike apps that automate everything, Kakeibo requires you to stop, think, and write. And that small act changes everything. Kakeibo is as low-tech as it gets. No downloads, no subscriptions, no dashboards, just a notebook and a pen. You begin each month by writing down your total income, say, for example. The first category is needs. These are your essentials: rent, food, medicine, utilities, and gas. The second is wants. This includes things like eating out, buying new clothes, Netflix, or that random $20 Amazon order. The third is culture: books, hobbies, learning a new skill, or anything that helps you grow. And finally, unexpected expenses: emergencies, repairs, medical costs, or anything that hits you out of nowhere. By writing down what you spend in each category, you start to see the true nature of your habits. More importantly, you start to question them. The magic of Kakeibo isn't in the math. It's in the mindfulness. When you swipe a debit card or tap your phone to pay, it barely registers. But when you physically write 7.25 coffee in your notebook, it forces your brain to slow down. You start to ask yourself, was that necessary? Could I have made this at home? Or am I spending out of boredom? This pause creates awareness, and awareness leads to better decisions. The more you track, the less you waste. In Japan, people treat Kakeibo like a daily ritual. It's not just a tool, it's a moment of reflection. Some decorate their journals with stickers or markers. Others add motivational quotes or monthly reflections about their spending habits. It becomes more than a financial exercise. It becomes a personal practice, like journaling your thoughts or planning your week. Over time, it reshapes your mindset from how can I afford this to do I really need this. Kakeibo isn't restrictive, it doesn't punish you for spending. It simply asks you to own your choices. There's no judgment or clarity. It's why it works across income levels. You don't need to be rich to use Kakeibo. If you're earning $2,500 a month, it works. If you're earning $10,000 a month, it works. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you keep. And the results speak for themselves. Many people in Japan, and now across the US and UK, report saving 20% to 30% of their income after adopting Kakeibo. That's hundreds of dollars a month just from being more intentional. Imagine saving $500 a month without changing your job or lifestyle, just from noticing where your money goes. That is the kind of quiet wealth building that dose and tea require a raise or a side hustle. What makes Kakeibo so accessible is that there's no learning curve. You don't need to understand investing. You don't need to hire a financial coach. You don't need to wait until your situation improves. You can start with $1 in a notebook. That's all it takes. And that's why Kakeibo is still relevant more than a century after it was created. Because at its core, it's not about money, it's about mindset. In a world full of subscriptions, digital distractions, and endless online ads, Kakeibo brings you back to basics. It's a return to intentional living, reminds you that wealth isn't built by spending more or even earning more, it's built by paying attention. That's the quiet power of Kakeibo. And that's how people who live modestly can still build lasting financial peace. The beauty of Kakeibo isn't in tracking, it's in awareness. If you're aware of every cent you spend, you naturally start cutting out what isn't necessary. Many Japanese families report saving 20 to 30% of their income just by practicing Kakeibo. And it's not just about budgeting, it becomes a lifestyle. Saving becomes second nature, not a struggle. Another cultural principle that keeps Japanese people rich is matanai, which means don't waste. This mindset goes beyond money. It's about respecting resources, food, time, energy, and of course cash. Throwing things away unnecessarily is seen as dishonorable. That's why you'll see people reusing containers, fixing broken appliances instead of replacing them, and repurposing leftovers into new meals. The idea is simple. If you respect what you already have, you won't constantly need more. In Japanese families, there is another unique system that contributes to financial success. The role of the shufu, the housewife who manages the household finances. In many homes, the husband earns the income, but the wife takes charge of budgeting, saving, and allocating spending money. The husband often receives a fixed allowance every month, while the wife handles the big picture. It may sound old-fashioned, but this system works. It creates a structure where money is managed with care, not impulsively. One method commonly used by Japanese housewives is the envelope budgeting system. Every month, cash is withdrawn and divided into envelopes labeled for different needs: food, rent, utilities, transportation, entertainment, and savings. Once an envelope is empty, that category is done for the month. No credit cards, no borrowing from the next paycheck. This physical system forces discipline, gives a real sense of limitation, which makes people more cautious with their spending. Another reason why the Japanese stay rich without earning more is that they avoid something called lifestyle inflation, a silent wealth killer that affects millions of people in Western countries. Lifestyle inflation is the habit of increasing your spending every time your income goes up. It often starts smaller, slightly nicer apartment, a new phone upgrade, eating out more often, but over time this pattern becomes dangerous. What was once a luxury quickly becomes a necessity. And before you realize it, your expenses grow right alongside your paychecks, sometimes even faster. In the United States and the UK, this cycle is extremely common. When someone gets a raise or lands a higher-paying job, their first instinct is often to reward themselves. That means upgrading the car, moving into a bigger home, buying new clothes, booking expensive vacations, or eating at trendier restaurants. At first, it feels like progress. After all, you worked hard, shouldn't you enjoy your success? But this mindset traps people in a financial hamster wheel. They earn more, but save nothing. Every dollar gets spent. And when an emergency hits or income drops, they're no better off than before. Japan, on the other hand, approaches this very differently. In Japanese culture, even when people start earning more money, their lifestyle often stays the same. Many Japanese professionals drive the same modest car for 10 or even 15 years, not because they can't afford a new one, but because the old one still works. Why waste money on something that doesn't add value? That same thinking applies to clothing. Rather than chasing fast fashion trends, they invest in durable, high-quality pieces that last for years. They don't buy for status, they buy for usefulness. And when it comes to food, Japan leads by example. Instead of dining out several times a week, which is common in the West, Japanese families continue to cook and eat at home, and after their income improves. Not only is it healthier, but it also saves hundreds of dollars each month. A home-cooked bento box filled with rice, vegetables, and protein costs just a few dollars to make. Compare that to spending $15, $20 per meal eating out in the US, and the savings add up fast. This refusal to upgrade just for the sake of upgrading is a massive reason why Japanese people retain wealth more easily. In the West, lifestyle inflation makes people feel rich, but only temporarily. It's like filling a bucket with water while there's a hole at the bottom. No matter how much money flows in, it never fills up because expenses keep leaking it out. The Japanese, however, patch the hole first. they live beneath their means, and when more income comes in, they simply save or invest the surplus. And here's where it gets even more powerful. By avoiding lifestyle inflation, Japanese households create a financial buffer. That extra money isn't just sitting there, it's used for long-term goals. Emergency funds, retirement accounts, kids' education, homeownership without debt. When your expenses don't rise with your income, you create breathing room. Give your money a job, one that works for your future, not just your present desires. Another advantage of resisting lifestyle inflation is emotional freedom. When your happiness doesn't depend on constant upgrades, you stop feeling pressure to keep up with others. Social comparison, which fuels consumerism in the West, loses its grip. You feel content with less, and that peace of mind is priceless. In Japan, the absence of financial stress isn't just luck, it's a result of intentional living. Of course, Japan isn't perfect. Lifestyle inflation still exists there, especially in bigger cities like Tokyo. But overall, the culture encourages moderation, not excess. There's a deep respect for humility, simplicity, and practicality. Those values shape spending habits in ways that preserve wealth across generations. You don't have to live in Japan to apply this principle. Anyone, whether you make $2,000 a month or $10,000, can resist lifestyle inflation. It starts with a mindset shift. Just because I can afford it, doesn't mean I need it. Instead of upgrading automatically, pause and ask, will this purchase truly improve my life long term? Most of the time, the answer is no. And that simple pause is what separates short-term pleasure from long-term security. So if you want to stay rich, don't focus only on earning more. Focus on keeping more. Let your income grow while your lifestyle stays steady. Back up the space between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth is born. And that's one of the quiet secrets that the Japanese have mastered. Second-hand shopping is also completely normalized in Japan. Buying used items like electronics, furniture, and even designer goods isn't seen as embarrassing, it's seen as smart. Stores like Book Off and platforms like Mercari make it easy to buy quality items for half the price. People in Japan value usefulness over newness. They don't need to be the first owner of something, they just want it to last. Minimalism is a major part of how Japanese people approach wealth. Influenced by Zen philosophy, many choose to live with fewer possessions. It's not about being poor, it's about being intentional. When you live with less, you spend less. You don't need to constantly buy new things. You don't feel pressure to keep up with trends. This minimalist lifestyle frees up money to save, invest, or spend on experiences that actually matter. Young professionals in Japan are rejecting the idea of working for 40 years and retiring at 65. Instead, they live below their means, save aggressively, and invest for the long term. Many aim to retire in their 30s or 40s. They don't chase luxury, they chase freedom. And by doing so, they build true wealth that gives them time, not just money. One of the biggest lessons we can learn from Japan is this: managing money well beats earning more money. You could earn $10,000 a month and still end up broke if you control your spending. But you could earn just $2,000 and still build wealth if you manage it with purpose. It's what the Japanese do differently. They make the most of what they already have. They track, they plan, they reuse, they avoid waste. They don't upgrade unless they need to. They live with a mindset that prioritizes security over status. It's how they stay rich. Not by chasing more, but by losing less. You don't have to be Japanese to apply these lessons. Anyone, anywhere, can start thinking like this. You can track your expenses with a notebook. You can split your budget into envelopes. You can buy secondhand. You can avoid debt and resist lifestyle inflation. These aren't just tips, they're life-changing habits. The most important shift is mental. Once you stop seeing money as something to chase in, start seeing it as something to protect, your entire financial life changes. You make smarter choices. You feel more in control. You stress less. And that's what real wealth feels like.
Yeah.
If you've made it to this part of the video, congratulations. You now know the quiet secrets behind how the Japanese stay rich. Now it's your turn to apply just one of these habits today. Start small, be consistent, and watch your wealth grow. Not from earning more, but from wasting less. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more financial wisdom. Check the pinned comment for your free budgeting guide to get started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.